Welcome to Tell Me a Story channel. Let's tell your story in a unique way, solving the mystery of my red penis. The story of my red penis is a tale of mystery and adventure, a quest filled with juvenile confusion and dangerously high levels of awkwardness. In the winter after I turned 21, I started to find dead skin on my underwear. Every day I would notice more and more accumulating there, along with increasing itchiness in the area of my perineum where that skin was coming from. Since the region was not visible to my eye, I never noticed the patch of red, irritated skin I had there, but after putting up with the discomfort for a while, I figured it was time to do something about it. I plucked up the courage and, with this symptom under my belt, went to my first doctor, ready to face the awkwardness. Because the problem was located in the genital area, I figured the right doctor to see was a urologist. I felt a bit anxious coming to the appointment. I guess most people wouldn't be thrilled by the idea of having their genitals examined either. But bear in mind that back then, I was a 21-year-old virgin with no sexual experience whatsoever. My penis had remained concealed for many years, kept secret like the Ark of the Covenant, waiting for an Indiana Jones to discover it. I had always pictured someone a bit different to show my penis to for the first time, but I guess a short-winded, 60-year-old doctor with tired, analytical eyes and a shaky hand would have to do. He asked me to drop my pants and lie down and instructed me to move my penis right and left like a joystick, then my testicles in order to expose the whole affected area. As I stood back up, pulling up my pants, my face still red from the embarrassment, he passed a disappointing sentence. "This is a skin problem. I can't really help you with that. You should see a dermatologist." Like a teenage girl with daddy issues, I had given away my flower to the wrong guy. That same evening, I looked for a dermatologist and made the second of a large list of doctor appointments. My first visit to the dermatologist came a few days later. The fact that it was the second time going through such a process made it only slightly less awkward. He prescribed some lotions for me and scheduled a second visit the following week. The lotions didn't do anything, so on my second visit, he took another look at it and wrote me a prescription for a new lotion. 7 days later, my skin is the same, and I'm walking to my third appointment with this guy, wondering whether he is really just a creep that's writing me prescriptions for placebo to get to see my dick every week. So I'm there, pants down, exposing my privates once again, and this time the doctor notices a new patch of dry skin a bit further up on the base of my penis. He takes a sample of the skin there to get it sent to the laboratory, and it turns out to be a genital wart. To this day, it remains a complete mystery how the hell I got an STD despite being a virgin. Everything I read about genital warts told me they are caused by the human papillomavirus HPV and transmitted through close genital contact. Although this can technically mean you can contract the virus while being a virgin, it implies that you must have had at least some sort of sexual experience where you came in close contact with somebody else's genital. That had definitely not been my case. Back then, I had the black belt in virginity. I hadn't even kissed a girl before, much less been anywhere near a vagina. That genital wart was the fetus of Jesus in Virgin Mary's womb, a true miracle. My dermatologist sent me to the surgeon to get the wart removed. Things were escalating really quickly. My dad, who I'd been forced to update on the whole predicament when things started to get serious, drove me to the hospital on the day of the surgery. They made me wear one of those smocks that tie up in the front, exposing your ass, and carried me on a stretcher to the operating theater. Everything looked like the medical shows I would watch on TV. I laid there face up, slightly blinded by the big round flashlights directly above me, with doctors showing up in my field of vision as they hovered around getting the equipment ready. My penis, always a secondary actor in my life, if not just an extra, was finally having its breakthrough. The center of everyone's attention, all the spotlights on it. "Get ready, buddy. The cameras are rolling. It's your time to shine." The medical team gathered around me, ready to start, and I felt a sharp pain as they punctured my penis and administered local anesthesia, the only thing I would feel throughout the whole operation. I decided that since the surgery was not very complex and I had been left awake, I might as well try to enjoy the experience. It certainly was a unique situation, having the surgeon and his nurses work diligently on my private parts as I laid there witnessing the whole thing, or rather, as much of it as my position allowed me to. The show did not last very long though. and soon I found myself back into the changing room, carefully putting my pants on as I tried not to touch the muddle of bandages that was now my penis. The post-operative was not fun. When I removed the dressing, the whole area down there was a beach in Normandy on June 7, 1944. A bunch of bloody, amorphous meat with colors ranging from flesh tones to yellowish to red and purple. My swollen penis looked like the face of Rocky Balboa after the fight with Apollo Creed. It was a truly sad thing. I had certainly not given many satisfactions to my penis over the course of my life, and it seemed like suffering was all it knew. Fortunately, the recovery was quick. In just 3 or 4 days, it finally resembled the shape of a penis again, and I could take a pee without my heart breaking for the sight of it alone. Yet when I thought this whole trauma was behind me, fate sent a last dose of cringe directly my way. I had a stitch done during the procedure to close the area where they had surgically removed the genital wart, and they told me I could just go to any local clinic to have it removed. I went to one and told them what I needed, and they sent me to the first available nurse, an attractive lady about my age. The scene that plays next depicts a situation that, as silly as it was, still remains as one of the most embarrassing moments in my life. A nervous young boy timidly enters the room and is noticed by the nurse. "Nurse, hello. I was told you need some stitches removed, is that correct?" Boy, nervously. Yes, that's right." Nurse, "Okay, where do you have them?" Boy, more nervously. "Well, it's only one and it's on my penis." Nurse, caught off guard. "Oh, okay. Go ahead and lay down there." As she turns her back on me to sterilize some tools, I pull my pants down and lay face up on the stretcher. It goes without saying that at this point I'm blushing and embarrassed as fuck, and you all know what happens to a penis when you're feeling like that. The stitch was on the mid to upper part of my uncircumcised penis, but the foreskin had collapsed into itself so much out of my nervousness that it was completely covering the stitch. When the nurse turned around, what she saw was a dude on her stretcher with his dick out and no stitch on it. Nurse, confused and bit alarmed. "Wait, so where is the stitch?" I look down and realize what's going on. I quickly reach out for my penis and clumsily pull the skin back to expose the stitch before she has a chance to call security on me for pulling a Louis T. In her office, she finally spots the stitch with great relief, I'm sure, and proceeds to remove it as I lay there trying to stop my memory from registering the moment. Soon after, I leave the office as in a trance, not really processing yet what has just happened, but glad to be over with this whole damn thing. The problem was that, of course, it was not over. In focusing on the miraculous discovery of the genital wart, everybody had forgotten about the issue that got me to the doctor in the first place. But I for sure had not, as my testicles' perineum area was still pretty dry and itchy. Wary of my first dermatologist, who had only been taking shots in the dark until he stumbled upon the wart, I decided to try with a new one. This second dermatologist aimed in the right direction surprisingly quickly. He wanted to know whether there was any history of skin conditions in my family. He checked my nails and saw their thickness and the tiny dents on them. He recognized that the genital wart had just been an unrelated incident and was pretty certain about what my real diagnosis was. After 4 doctors, near 10 examinations of my genitals, surgery, and a lot of time and emotional distress, I finally got my answer. I suffered from genital psoriasis. Nowadays, my life as a man with genital psoriasis is not very different from anyone else's. I have a few patches of psoriasis that get worse periodically and a set of lotions to bring them back to a better state, and that's about the scope of the disease for me. It has occasionally inconvenienced me, but generally not hurt my sex life significantly, or my general well-being for that matter. During all these years since I was diagnosed, I have familiarized myself with my psoriasis. I am aware now of the strong psychological aspect of this disease, and I have come to understand better where it comes from and in what conditions it intensifies and diminishes. While it is something that I will always have to live with, I now understand how being more in tune with myself and my body helps me deal with my psoriasis better. That was my story to you. Enjoyed it? Subscribe for more.